find out what's going on. One of them can't run a live stream. They got no audio output on the live stream. The rally's canceled. You're 12% Jewish. Numbnuts is still playing with crayons. Numbnuts is still playing with his Hot Wheels cars or something. So, yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. All of you. Every one of you that was a part of that. Because here's the thing, and this is the last thing I'll say, then we'll move on. It's like, in the moment, it's like a mob mentality. In the moment on Thursday, which was not long ago, see, now you see how quickly things move and how quickly people move on. On Thursday, people are texting me like, I'm sorry this is happening. Oh my gosh, this is actually a good thing, blah, blah, blah. But it's like on Thursday, it was like a mob mentality. It's like, kill this man. We're all coming after this guy today. And everybody's getting pressure to join the pile on. And you give it 3 days and you see what's really going on there. And you go, wow. That's what people are capable of, huh? And I know these people. Jake Shields, how many times have I forgiven this guy? 7 times, 70 times I've forgiven Jake Shields. You fucking piece of shit, you worthless sack of garbage. How many times has Jake Shields, with his deep-seated resentment, been sneak dissing me on the timeline? We get in a fight, I forgive him. We get in a fight, I forgive him. We get in a fight, I let it go. I go on his podcast after he's done nothing but talk trash about me, done nothing but undermine me. I go on his podcast regardless. That does nothing for me. And then he's right there with this homie Dan. And same thing with Dan. How many times have I walked you through it, dumbass? How many times have I gotten on the call, texted you, walked you through, explained myself, my positions, helped you, given you advice, I've been to your house? And look at how they do your guy. Look at how they treat me. Crazy. So anyway. But it's like I said on Twitter. Mars is in Aries. It's a time of war. And it's a time of war. This is how it goes. But anyway, so that's that. I don't want to spend too much. People say I'm playing the victim, but it really is outrageous. And by the way, it does come with and I know you sense this. I'm sure you do. There is this deep frustration with our love. I'm trying, you guys. I'm really trying. And I'm trying, and we're all trying. We are all doing our part to advance America first. And what you tend to find is that it's our own people that can't get out of their own way. That's the worst part. We're all trying so hard. We're all playing our part. We're all doing our best to deepen our understanding of the issues, to deepen our understanding of how power works and how we're going to be proactive and effective in the world. We're all trying, and what you find time and again is that we are our own worst enemy. It's our own side. It's not Laura Loomer. It's not Mark Levin. It's not even Israel. It's people that ostensibly are supposed to all agree on one thing, on a common enemy pointed in one direction that just cannot make it happen, cannot get it together. And unfortunately, we have to be ruthless with these people. You can't prevent that. You can't help it. It's a fact. And you have to be ruthless about it, but it's sad that it has to be that way. You're going against Randy Fine. Here's a good idea. Let's divide the Israel critical movement by launching an all-out attack on Nick Fuentes. It's like, what are we doing? Why you want to run against Randy Fine? Okay, do it. Just focus on that. Anyway. So it turns out he's a Jew. I wonder how his crowd is going to take that. How are they going to reconcile that one, huh? The guy that's going around calling everybody a fed, he endorsed a Jew. Dude, you're a Jew. If I endorse you, I'd be endorsing a Jew for Congress. How do you reconcile that, even with your own statements? So anyway, but enough about him. Now that's done. That's done. Stick a fork in him. He's pasta. He's cooked. It's over. Forget it. We can turn the page on Jake Shields, Dan Bilzerian. You're out. You are done. You don't recover from that. Fuck you. Turning the page on that. We're going to move on. We're going to get into the situation in Iran. We're going to get into a little bit of the news here.
Holy fucking shit.
And I was going to talk about it last night. We ran out of time. We got into all this intramural drama. So I want to get into the war in Iran and the latest. And there's not a ton that is actually happening. anywhere at all, and not even in the war, there is this attempt by the Trump administration to once again jumpstart diplomacy between Iran and the United States, but it just isn't working. And Trump is constantly saying from the White House and on Truth Social and in these press pools, he is representing to us that we are on the precipice of a diplomatic breakthrough, that a deal is within reach, that diplomacy is in advanced stages, that Iran is begging us for a deal. This has been the chorus for the past 2.5 months. Literally since the war started, this has been the statement. Iran is begging us for peace. They want it more than you even know. We have a deal ready, and so on. It has not been true at any point in time, not last year, not before the war, not at any point during the war, and it isn't true now. As recently as last week, Trump championed and triumphed this idea that a deal is within reach. Well, on Sunday, Iran finally responded to the latest U.S. proposal to end the conflict and re-engage in a second round of negotiations for the next 30 days. And Iran basically said, we do not agree to any of your conditions. We want an end to the war on all fronts. We want reparations. We want to control the strait. And we want an immediate end to the blockade. To which the Trump administration replied, absolutely not. And this is a story from Axios about this. It says, quote, President Trump told Axios in a short phone call on Sunday that he would reject Iran's response to the latest draft agreement to end the war. The U.S. waited 10 days for the Iranian response, which came on Sunday. The White House hoped Iran's positions would show further progress toward a deal, but Trump's initial reaction signals the opposite. He said, quote, I don't like their letter. It's inappropriate. I don't like their response. They've been tapping along many nations for 47 years. In a post on Truth Social after the call, Trump said the Iranian response was totally unacceptable. The Tasnim news agency affiliated with the IRGC reported that Iran's text stresses the necessity of lifting U.S. sanctions, ending the war on all fronts, and ensuring Iranian management of the Strait of Hormuz. According to the report, Iran demanded an immediate end to the U.S. naval blockade upon the signing of the agreement. The response maintains the proposed format of an initial memorandum of understanding, followed by 30 days of negotiations, but insists on lifting U.S. sanctions related to Iranian oil sales during that 30-day window. Iran also demanded the release of frozen assets upon the initial signing of the MOU. So now, if you've been following this peace process from the beginning, you understand that Iran's position has literally never changed. The Trump administration's position has literally never changed from the beginning. And by the beginning, I mean last year. Last year, straight through April, May, and into Rising Lion in June, the Trump administration's demands were zero enrichment, forfeit your highly enriched uranium, missile moratorium, stop funding the proxies. That was also their demand in February, just before this war started. And as they have engaged Iran in diplomacy since then, this has been their offer still. No enrichment, hand over the highly enriched uranium, open up the Strait of Hormuz now, since the war has started and Iran has closed the strait, and that has been the U.S. position. In spite of Trump's insistence that Iran is begging us for a deal or making big concessions, Iran has always responded by saying, we're not giving up enrichment, we're not giving up uranium, we're not agreeing to restrictions on missiles and proxies. We will open up the strait, but we will control it and charge money on it. We want a lifting of U.S. sanctions, we want reparations for the fighting, and we want an end to the war on all fronts, and that means in Lebanon as well as in the Persian Gulf theater. And this has been the impasse from the beginning. And they center on those two big issues. I believe we talked about this on Thursday. The two central issues, in the beginning it was only one issue. It was enrichment and centrifuges. Centrifuges and rich uranium. Since this war has started, it is now the nuclear enrichment issue, and now it is also the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. It is these two issues which are completely intractable. These are at the center of the impasse. And neither side is ever going to come off of those positions. Now let's elaborate on them specifically. Trump administration says, realistically, we can't leave the fight unless we recover Iran's highly enriched uranium and they agree to zero enrichment on some timeline. We cannot leave the conflict until Iran agrees to that. Why? Because if we leave the conflict without that, then Iran reestablishes deterrence. And by that I mean they have imposed a very high cost on attacking Iran. Such a high cost that not only the United States, but no other country in the world is going to want to see another fight in the Persian Gulf. How did they do that? When the United States attacked them, they closed the Persian Gulf and they turned it into an energy war. They created an energy shock, which affects prices and the economy across the entire globe. And because they demonstrated their ability, their resilient and durable capability to do this, in other words, no matter how hard you hit them, they're going to be able to play that card. Now, that is going to deter any return to fighting. If the United States wants to go back into Iran to fight another war, you're going to lose our allies in the Indo-Pacific. You're going to lose Europe. You're going to lose the election in the United States because everybody worldwide is going to say it's not worth it. In the Indo-Pacific, they are going to say, not so fast. That's where we get all of our oil. We can't do that again. Europe will say the same. We get our LNG from Qatar, and it affects the prices regardless. The American public will say, we don't want $6 gas again. We can't do that. So Iran has reimposed deterrence. They've imposed a very high cost on intervention, and they've demonstrated that they have this ability to impose that cost really regardless of what we do to them or what we're willing to do to them. So why does that mean we can't leave the conflict? Well, if we leave, then we're out, and it will not be easy to go back in. Iran knows that. So if they've imposed a very high cost on re-entry and re-engaging in a fight, then what that does is it gives them the ability to dig up their nuclear program. So what do you think they're going to get to work doing the second the fighting ends and the United States is out? They're going to dig up their highly enriched uranium, they're going to fire up the centrifuges, and they're going to continue to make more weapons-grade uranium for a bomb. Or at least, that is what decision makers in Washington must assume, because they can do that. And so let's say we get some kind of a ceasefire, a truce, some kind of lasting peace, a longer-term ceasefire. You're going to have to assume they're going to restart the nuclear program. And if you try to, it's not so simple as, well, then we'll hit them again. If you go and hit the uranium again, if you go and hit their stockpile, you go and hit the centrifuges again, Iran will shut down the strait, and it's back to square one. So the United States realistically cannot walk away without some commitment, even in principle, even in spirit, that Iran will forfeit their existing stockpile, 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium, and that there will be some moratorium on nuclear enrichment in the future. On the flip side, Iran can never give it up. Why? Well, why do they have highly enriched uranium in the first place? It's a deterrent against Israeli and U.S. intervention. We've talked about this repeatedly. They're engaging in nuclear hedging. They don't want a nuclear arsenal because if they acquire one or make a race to acquire one, it will invite U.S. aggression. So they maintain something resembling a nuclear program, nuclear weapons program, that is just shy of anything that would alarm the United States enough for them to intervene, but it's also advanced enough that if the United States did intervene, they could accelerate its progress, make a bomb, and deter the United States from some kind of existential attack on Iran. Well, in case you haven't noticed, the U.S. and Israel have been attacking Iran for years now. Israel has provoked Iran in April 2024, July 2024, June 2025, and then with their joint operation with the United States in February of this year. In other words, we have made Iran's worst nightmare a reality. Their worst fear and anxiety has been realized. We've actualized that risk. Now, the United States tried to obliterate the Iranian regime. It was a matter of survival. We killed their supreme leader. We killed half of their military and political elites. We tried to topple their country. That's existential, meaning relating to the existence of the regime. We have vindicated their fear that we have always been pursuing that and that we are willing and able to try. So if we end the conflict, they will not be satisfied with their conventional missile arsenal. They won't be satisfied with their Strait of Hormuz closure, because they might imagine that the next time the United States comes back, the next time they take a crack at it, maybe it's a ground invasion, maybe it goes nuclear, maybe there's some kind of subversive intelligence operation to overthrow Iran from the inside. So Iran cannot give up its nuclear hedge. After all this, especially, they can't give it up. So that's an impasse. It's intractable, irreconcilable. It will never be bridged. The U.S. can't walk away without no enrichment. Iran cannot give away enrichment. Number two is the Strait of Hormuz, and that's basically the same thing. The United States cannot let Iran control the Strait of Hormuz. Why? Because if Iran controls the strait, if we cede it, one, huge strategic defeat for the United States. We bombed them 15, 20,000 times, killed their leader, sank their navy, hit them with everything we got, and they're better off. They have more territory. They increase their power. They now expand their control over a vital waterway in the world. They went from controlling 4% of the world's oil exports from their own domestic supply to controlling 20% of the world's oil trade because they closed the strait and all the oil that goes through it. So one, strategic disaster to try to destroy a country and they come out significantly better. But also, if we cede that, then it becomes formal, official, legal. Iran controls the strait. They are enriched off of it, so that's effectively your reparations. They grow stronger because of it. It funds the rebuilding of their arsenal and their country. But beyond that, it solidifies Iran's ability to close the strait. They will be able to control the actual passageways, where the ships are going to cross, where they actually transit. The IRGC will be patrolling it. They will have consolidated and solidified their control over it so that in the future they can more easily close the strait when necessary. And again, if we want to leave and come back, we're going to be worried about rebuilding the nukes, rebuilding the missiles, and the reimposition of a blockade of the strait. So we can't give it up for those reasons. But the inverse is also true. If Iran does not control the strait, then there's a possibility that during peacetime, maybe the United States makes it so that Iran cannot take control of the strait in the future. If Iran gives up control over it and there's a return to freedom of navigation, who's to say the United States doesn't put its navy there to prevent Iran from choking it off the next time? And then that takes away their leverage. That takes away that deterrent threat that they're going to shut down the global economy, which actually puts pressure not only on America, but on all of America's allies and trading partners. Critically in the Indo-Pacific, but also in Europe, and I would say also the Arabian Peninsula. So those are two issues. The United States is beating our head against the wall saying, no enrichment, fork over the highly enriched uranium, and freedom of navigation in the strait. Iran is saying absolutely not. Our right to enrich is as sacred as our sovereignty itself. They equate enrichment with sovereignty because it's the guarantor of their sovereignty over their soil, and we're going to control the strait, and we're going to make money off of it because that's the only thing that's keeping us safe. And so as long as the United States sees those as non-starters, and vice versa for Iran, then there's never going to be a deal. We're not walking away giving them the strait and letting them keep their nuclear program, and they're never giving up those things. So what does that mean? Well, it means this is still going to be resolved militarily. Iran still believes that they can hold out. They still believe that even if the United States attacks them again, it will be ineffective. Why? Because the regime is durable, so it will survive, and their ability to close the strait and attack the Arabian Peninsula will be intact because they still have access to their missile launch platforms, missile stockpiles, and actually have 75% of their pre-war missile stock, even in terms of volume. So Iran thinks they're going to survive, they're going to maintain these capabilities, and so they can make it a war of attrition and perpetuity, which will eventually create so much economic pressure on America and the world that it will force us out of the conflict. There'll be no other way. Conversely, the United States is in denial, and we still think that because of our overwhelming military power, because of our air and sea superiority, that if we just keep hitting, if we just do more, widen the war, deepen the war, escalate the war, that eventually we will drop enough bombs to compel Iran even to just give us something symbolic so that we can regain our strength and come back again another day.
I'm sorry.
I would say, so let's just say that in the near future, there's going to be a resumption of hostilities. If Iran doesn't want to make a deal and the U.S. doesn't want to make a deal, then what happens? Well, there's a countdown timer. People think that this can go on in perpetuity. Iran has closed the strait. We've imposed a blockade on their commercial shipping in the strait. We're not attacking them all the time. There seems to be some misunderstandings, claims about drone attacks. We hit them with a love tap last week. But by and large, the fighting has, generally speaking, stopped. So you might say, well, what would prevent us from maintaining this as the status quo at a low boil indefinitely? Well, one, you have effectively closed the shipping in the strait, so there's enormous pressure on energy, which is going to force us to act one way or the other. If oil remains constricted, if that oil remains stuck in the Persian Gulf, there's huge economic pressure on all the players in the global economy. So we're either going to have to make a decision to solve it or to walk away. That's the biggest thing. So there's no scenario where this just goes on and on and on. On the other side, the United States thinks that Iran is eventually going to collapse, that the blockade we have imposed on their ports is eventually going to inflict so much economic pain on Iran that they're going to have to make a decision, although U.S. military planners say that Iran is dug in and it's not even going to matter for them for months. Here's the other significant countdown timer. Let's say that we find a way to keep oil prices stable indefinitely. And let's say Iran is hurting badly by this as well. The other big countdown timer is that we have to assume that as long as we are not engaging Iran militarily, that they are regaining strength. They're building more missiles, building more drones. And again, that was actually the original casus belli going back to December. We have to engage Iran to destroy their missile stockpile. And specifically, Netanyahu made the case and said, every month Iran is building 300 more ballistic missiles. So you might think we could do this for another 2 or 3 months. Well, just do the math. Israel and the United States have to assume that as long as we are not actively bombing them all the time, disrupting them, disrupting their communications and logistics, they're digging up everything that we've already hit, they're rebuilding everything we've already destroyed, and they're resetting for that next confrontation. In the meantime, we are out of supplies. We are out of interceptors, running low on them. Our bases have been damaged beyond repair in the Middle East. Allegedly, Iranian fighter jets were bombing U.S. bases in Kuwait and elsewhere in the Gulf, inflicting tens of billions of dollars in damage and rendering most of the infrastructure inoperable. Not like they got hit a little bit and they put out the fire. They've rendered most of the infrastructure in about 9 bases completely destroyed. Tens of billions of dollars in damage. That's not easily going to be repaired. So there is this sense of urgency that we either need to bring them to the table and make a deal immediately, or we have to bomb them again really hard. So it looks like there's going to be a resumption of hostilities. But again, when that war starts, what does that look like? Well, there's a new report today in the New York Times, and it talks specifically about the missiles. And what it says is very shocking. Contrary to what we have been told by the White House, which is that we have decimated Iran's military, we sank their navy, we've destroyed all their missiles, I believe a claim was made in the early stages of the war that we had destroyed 75% of their missile launch platforms. They gave the impression, they represented to us, that almost all the missiles were destroyed, and there was just these little stockpiles left that we needed to worry about, and that was it. Well, there's a shocking new piece from the Times with sources in the intel community that say it's the opposite.
You're in trouble.
Actually, Iran maintains access to 30 out of 33 of their missile launch platforms along the coast of the Strait of Hormuz. And what does that mean? It means they have almost everything they need to keep the strait closed indefinitely. What else does that mean? It means we hit them 15,000 times. We took 3 out of 33 of their missile launch platforms offline. Everything else was either intact or repaired, but it had virtually no effect. They maintained 75% of their pre-war missile stockpiles. So that's just volume. And nationwide, they maintain access to almost all of their missile storage facilities. And this is an article, I'll read through some of it. It says, quote, the Trump administration's public portrayal of a shattered Iranian military is sharply at odds with the U.S. intelligence agencies are telling policymakers behind closed doors, according to classified assessments from early this month, which show Iran has regained access to most of its missile sites, launchers, and underground facilities. Most alarming to some senior officials is evidence that Iran has restored operational access to 30 out of the 33 missile sites it maintains along the Strait of Hormuz, which is what is threatening American warships and oil tankers transiting the narrow waterway.
I hate Mexicans.
People with knowledge of these assessments said they show, to varying degrees depending on the level of damage incurred at the different sites, that the Iranians can use mobile launchers that are inside the sites to move missiles to other locations. In some cases, they can launch missiles directly from launch pads that are part of the facilities. Only 3 of the missile sites along the strait remain totally inaccessible, according to these assessments. Iran still fields about 70% of its mobile launchers across the country and has retained roughly 70% of its pre-war missile stockpile, according to the same assessment. Military intelligence agencies have also reported, based on information from multiple collection streams, including satellite imagery and surveillance, that Iran has regained access to 90% of its underground missile storage and launch facilities nationwide, which are now assessed to be partially or fully operational. The new intelligence suggests that Mr. Trump and his military advisors overestimated the damage that the U.S. military could inflict on Iranian missile sites and underestimated Iran's resilience and ability to bounce back. The New York Times reported last month that U.S. officials believed Iran could regain as much as 70% of its pre-war missile arsenal. The Washington Post reported on U.S. intelligence showing that Iran retained about 75% of its mobile missile launchers and 70% of its pre-war missile stockpile. So what this means is that we did everything that we could realistically do. We dropped bunker busters, we had air superiority over the western half of the country, we had a joint operation with Israel, we had 3 aircraft carriers in the region at one point in time, although not during the fighting. And yet, we did not put a dent. We didn't even take out half of it. Forget about we took out all of it or most of it. We didn't even take out half of it. We didn't even take out a quarter of their missiles. After doing everything. So if we go back into the fight, here's the question. How are we actually going to win? We tried it. We hit him with everything we got. And then we punched ourselves out and recused ourselves from the fighting, even though they were in violation of their own ceasefire agreement. We unilaterally ended our offensive against them because of how much it was hurting us. Come to find out, all these weeks later, we didn't do anything. And people say, well, we destroyed their navy. Iran is not a naval power. And it isn't World War II. They don't need actually to field a blue water navy to be powerful. They have these defensive capabilities, which create this asymmetry. It is the low-cost, cheap, mobile systems, drones, missiles, speedboats, mines. These things are cheap, mobile. They're much more easily built and cheaply built and fielded than the systems that destroy or neutralize those systems. And so as long as they have that, They're good. So let's say we go back in and we bomb Iran. They have all their missiles. That means they're going to restart their attacks on Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Emirates, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Israel, U.S. bases in northern Iraq, Jordan, elsewhere, and the Strait. It all starts all over again. And what are we able to meaningfully do to Iran that we haven't already done? What are we going to do? We've already attacked the regime. We've already attacked the military. We tried to hit the missiles. It didn't work. They're still intact. So the option is we attack their civilian infrastructure. Well, Iran still has all their missiles. It's going to cut both ways. We attack their power plants. They attack the power plants in Saudi Arabia. We attack their oil. They attack Saudi Aramco. We attack their Harg Island, their bridges, tunnels, whatever. They attack desalination. They attack hotels, airports, everything in the Gulf. It's all on the table. There is no winning scenario here. It just isn't possible. Iran has all the cards, all the leverage. They're not willing to negotiate, and there's nothing we could do to compel them to do that. There's nothing that we could do short of something that would be a Pyrrhic victory. We could go in and, like I said, bomb their civilian infrastructure. That might be the last card that we can play. What happens immediately after? Iranian missiles rain down on all those Gulf countries, and the global economy is destroyed. And even if you wanted regime change in Iran, it's just going to turn into a failed state. It maybe creates more problems than we had at the beginning when you had this Islamic revolutionary regime in control of Iran. There's nothing that can be done here. And I debated this with Stephen Crowder this morning. He said, well, what if I think that it's good for us to weaken Iran? I said, we can't. It's outside the question. Iran is a sovereign state, and it's meaningful because Iran has a real military. Iran has a huge population, huge territory, and they have been preparing for this fight for decades. So, yeah, you can maintain complete operational freedom over the skies of Syria because this is a small country with a small population and they don't have the same capabilities, and Assad is weak, and half the country didn't even belong to him at one time. So you can do that in Syria. And you can weaken Iraq. Why? Because we invaded with 300,000 ground troops in the coalition. But you say, well, we've got to weaken Iran. You can't. You attack Iran to do regime change or attack their nuclear sites or whatever, and they're going to race to a bomb. They're going to build their missiles. If you want to go in decisively, there's no way to win short of a ground war, a nuclear war. Arguably, even a ground war wouldn't be sufficient, I think. And the casualties would be in the tens of thousands. So, this is an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. This is the limit of hard U.S. power. It's the same situation, or not the same, but similar with Russia and Ukraine. You know, you might say, well, Russia has a much bigger population and a much bigger productive economy. You know, Russia is still a factory for tanks, artillery, and ammunition, and so on. But at the end of the day, if Ukraine has these dug-in defensive lines and drones and U.S. intelligence and Starlink and the rest of it, they're just not going to be able to throw enough men and ammunition and so on to change the outcome. It's similar here. Checkmate. If we can't destroy all the missiles, then they can continue to shut down the Strait and attack the Gulf, and that is going to be ruinous to our economy, and we know that, and we can't destroy the missiles. As evidenced by this report, we did everything we could, and it's not going to work. So where does that leave us? Well, again, the only possible way out of this is some negotiated settlement, where we might be able to get Iran to agree to have some limitations and restrictions on nuclear enrichment. And we're going to have to give them control over the Strait. And maybe we can get them to give us a better deal if we can do more for them, maybe not in the way of concessions in the conventional way, but if we can convince them that we, and more importantly Israel, will not attack them ever again. That's our only hope, is to walk away from this, get Israel to relax. We have to restrain them. We have to put them in their place. And then we can pursue some kind of collective security agreement, some kind of rapport rapprochement with Iran and have some kind of a deal where Iran becomes a nation among other nations. Short of that, this is going to get us all killed. It's not going to end well. That's where, and I fail to see how it could go any other way. Like I said, that you have to believe in the logic. This is not wish casting. It's not a hunch. It's not a gut feeling. It's not a guess. This is the logic of how conflict works. So this is not me saying I feel like it's going to go this way. That's sort of the only way it can go at this point. We can't accept anything less than a better deal than the JCPOA. We can't walk away giving them the straight and letting them keep nuclear enrichment. They can't give those things up. The war can't go on forever like this because of oil and the possibility they'll rebuild their missiles. So it puts all of us on a collision course and with a short timeline. And when that happens, what are we going to do that we haven't already done to change their capabilities? Can't. I don't see it. Unless they're getting really creative, unless they're cooking something up that we've never seen before, and presumably they're thinking about these problems. You know, these are the things we can't know, is what the military planners have in mind. But short of something totally unpredictable, out of left field, a real gamble, real Hail Mary, I fail to see how we're going to neutralize Iran. And something's got to give here. And I see the United States in a far weaker position. This is why it was a mistake to ever get involved. People said last year, we're going to hit them, it's a one and done. No, but it doesn't work that way. It never does. Biden kept us out of this war. Israel tried to bait us into a war with Iran twice, and Biden kept us out. It is Trump that took Netanyahu's hand and let him walk us down the path, ultimately to a cataclysmic regime change confrontation, which is what we're in now, and there's no easy way out. So, I told you it was going to bring us to war. I told you it was going to be impossible to get out. I told you last year after Midnight Hammer, I said, we'll be back, 100%, take it to the bank. We're coming back eventually, and sooner rather than later, because that's going to be the pitch. Diplomacy was scuttled. It's completely off the table after we had surprise attacked them. And if there's no diplomacy, Israel will be pressuring us, telling us they're building their missiles, they're digging up the uranium, and it's going to create that pressure for us to come back. It did. They closed the strait. We're never going to be able to destroy all the missiles. Where does that leave us? No good options. So that's the situation in Iran. We're going to move on. We're going to take a look at our super chats. We'll see what you guys have to say about all that. Like I said, pretty boring, slow day. Not a lot really even to discuss. I don't know if you guys are sick of Iran by now. I am. Some of you guys like it, and some of you guys like the analysis. But look, I mean, we're in this stuck situation. Not much has changed. So we can only go over the fundamentals so many times. There's only so many new developments in the saga here, but it's what it is. So, anyway, we're going to move on. We'll take a look. We'll see what you guys have to say after our crash out earlier. All right, let's see.
Mountain 288 sent $20. Listen to Tumors Michael Tyler and I got multiple ads for online gambling. Why is he promoting gambling? What's that about?
Are those ads on YouTube, or is that on his actual show? That'd be pretty disappointing if he was promoting gambling. I don't take gambling ads for that reason. I don't take any ads, but I would never take a gambling ad. So that's interesting.
Nick of Night sent $20. Can I be slightly white-pilled by yesterday's tweets from the Department of State on ending replacement migration?
Oh, why would you be? See, this is what I'm talking about. Do you know what he's talking about here? The State Department put out a post on Twitter yesterday, and it was a visual, a graphic, and it crossed out replacement migration, and it said re-migration. And people are looking at that graphic picture that was posted on social media by the social media intern at the State Department, and they are saying, white-pilled again! Huge meta-political victory! And what I feel like doing right now is grabbing your head by both of your ears and screaming in your face, you are a goy. Israel gets an embassy in Jerusalem. Israel gets the JCPOA to be ripped up. Israel gets the IRGC designated a terrorist group and Qasem Soleimani assassinated. Israel gets 2 wars with Iran, $30 billion in foreign aid, 7 visits to the United States, an audience with the president, and you get a picture on social media. That is why you are a loser. That is why you will always be a loser. You're getting a sticker, okay? That would be the equivalent if it was take your dad to school day, or what is that day when you're like, your dad comes to school and talks about his job, I don't know if they still do that.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You see that on like sitcoms. Oh, my dad's a plumber, he's gonna talk about being a plumber, whatever. That would be the equivalent of, my dad works in the State Department, he's gonna give us all a sticker. He brought stickers for the whole class. They say, I'm a junior diplomat. Like, you're getting a sticker. You're getting a button. You're getting a tote bag. You're getting a pen. You're getting a button. That is the equivalent of what we get from Republicans. Israel gets the grand prize in the sweepstakes. They get the concert tickets. They get the new Mustang, they get the fully loaded Tesla. They get the grand prize. They get the steak knives, the El Dorado. You get a fucking sticker. You get a tote bag and a pen and a lanyard and a sticker, and you are happy as a clam. You're sitting in your car seat, in the back seat, kicking your feet, nodding off with your ice cream cone melting in your hand, happy as a fucking clam because you got a sticker that said remigration.
I'll bring it by.
How about instead of a fucking picture, we get remigration? I don't want a picture that says the word, I want the policy. Can I be white-pilled that the State Department tweeted an infographic that said the word remigration? No. Because that is nothing. That is nothing. That is as much as a high five and they scruffle your hair. That's an attaboy. How about actual mass deportations? Don't say remigration, do it. What is the excuse? We have the White House, the House, the Senate. In the big beautiful bill, they allocated nearly $200 billion to DHS for this purpose. They hired 10,000 ICE agents. They're acquiring all these warehouses, infrastructure as detention space. What's the excuse? At this point, what is the excuse why we can't do it? Don't say it, do it. But this is the problem. You fucking stupid Goyim will settle for anything because you are Goyim. Why do you get chewed? Because you're a Goyim. What does it mean to be chewed? It means to get scammed. It means to be tricked. It means to be promised something and you get far less than what you offered, or nothing at all. And you might even be happy with it. That's what it means to be chewed, and that's what it means to be a goy. So you're acting like a goy right now. Can I at least be a little white-pilled? I got a chub. I got half chubbed up because they posted a picture that said remigration. Dude, kill yourself. Kill yourself. Kill yourself today. Can I be white-pilled? Oh, I can't help it. I feel white-pilled because they said the word. They said the thing. Brother, please commit suicide immediately. Locate your nearest pistol or knife. Play in traffic. Play in traffic. Get in a car crash. Seriously. No, I'm kidding. I don't mean that seriously. Yeah, can I be white-pilled that they posted a picture on Twitter? No, you can't. No, you're not allowed to. You can't be because it's not happening. Like, how can you not see that? How do you not see that? People, what is that doing for us? It reminds me of that guy Tate Brown on Tim Pool. He was nice enough in person, but I was debating with him about this, and I'm the asshole. I'm like, dude, we're not getting anything. And he's like, oh, I have to admit, we would have never been having these conversations 5 years ago. I'm like, conversations? People are dead. People have been killed over this. Dude, people went to prison for years. They shot Trump in the head so that we could have conversations. Police were able to say remigration. We wanted them to do remigration.
Fuck. Wrong one, dude.
Hey, which one of my skills is required? Okay, but only for a minute.
Let's take a look. Are we back?
Damn fucking bot.
Alright, let's see. Okay, we're back. I don't know what happened there. My computer crashed. My computer crashed
He
there for a
picked
minute.
me off. The nigger lover picked me off.
Got a little animated there, and then maybe I was just so intent. I was standing up. My pose was so powerful. It was like
Be off the radar, bro. Get your off
Charlie
radar
Kirk
kills.
running past the street lights. There was a power surge. It's like Monsters Inc. I got up and there was just like a complete power surge. Too much energy. All right. Okay, where was I at here? I don't know what happened. There were some other super chats I don't see anymore. That's weird. It seemed like they just like disappeared. Okay, well whatever. We'll just get back to where we were, I guess.
Lyons Township alumni sent $100. Apologies for Monday conference checkbait. Patience is a virtue I had lost sight of. Your responsible leadership was poignant. I will always defer to your judgment, and have doubled my donation schedule as a token of my loyalty. ELS, take me back there. Not even one of the returns. Insane plays
That is insane, but I appreciate the big super chat. Yeah, well, I appreciate that you acknowledge that. Look, it's just true. You can't pull the confidence check. That's a shit test. You know, but I appreciate it.
Mark sent $1,000.
Yo, thank you for the massive super chat.
Right.
Sevens to Mark. Big shout out to Mark. Thank you for the massive super chat. God bless you, man. Appreciate everything you're doing for the show.
It's turning to allow you to try hard
Let's
niggas.
get some most sevens in the chat. W. Mark.
Wang
The
George sent
goat.
$25. If Dan wants to beat Randy Fine, he better get to job jabbing and stop attacking him.
Yeah, straight up.
Shipley sent $35. Steven Crowder is the purest example of Republican code. Crazy to me, these people just still don't get it.
I know, man. I know. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I hope he doesn't take this as like, oh, you were cordial and now you're talking shit. I do just get frustrated with that perspective. And that's how it sounds to me. It just sounds like cope. It's all cope. It's like, you know, we're getting all these wins and Trump doesn't get enough credit, and if they fail, it's because the Democrats are doing a bad job, and if you're going to send a message, well, Democrats are going to be, you know, the worst thing of all time. So, yeah, it's pretty tough.
Ultimative Warrior 96 sent $50. First time super chatter. Really good conversation with Crowder, but it's always weird to see people treat you like the unreasonable person for holding the adamant to what they promised. Much love.
I know. It's crazy. I mean, he goes, what exactly do you need to hear? It's like it's a purity test. I'm like, mass deportations and no new wars. Almost like the two big promises. Like, that'd be like, you go to McDonald's and you say, hi, I want 5 Big Macs, 5 fries, and 5 Cokes. And they say, here's your 4 chicken McNuggets and your Sprite. and you go, what the fuck is this? I wanted the Big Macs, and they go, well, what is a security test? Well, what would make you happy? Okay, what would make you happy? That's not good enough. It's better than nothing. It's like, I want what I ordered. I want what I ordered. You know. He goes, this is a purity spiral.
What the
okay,
fuck?
what perfect candidate in your imagination? What could they possibly do? How about no new wars and mass deportations? The two things they said they would do. Is that enough? Well, how about negative migration? How about mass deportations? How about no forever wars? We'll give them 3 months with Iran. In addition to, how about no new wars?
We can handle that.
End the war in Ukraine, no new war in Iran, like. But it's me. I'm the asshole, always. I'm the bad guy. So fine, I'll be the villain in the story.
The set-off dashes hair sent $20. Smell me.
Very good.
Roll over to listen $50. Nick, is it just me or does the joke at resigning and immediately going on Tucker behind a paywall stink? Seems that maybe Kat is the backup plan for the Tucker/Deal/CIA leak in 28.
Yeah, I said that when it happened. Hello. If you do watch my show, when that happened, I said it was enough. Because if you recall,
what can I... Okay,
David Sachs
keep in touch.
was the first one to come out and say the war should end. And very quickly after that, his time as the AI czar expired and they put him on the Technology Council or something like that. David Sachs is like this with Vance. That's going to be his chief of staff, okay? Very, very important advisor to Vance. And then it was Joe Kent that following Monday or Tuesday who resigned with his letter, and then the day after that he was on Tucker. So it's that little triangulation, Kent, Tucker, Sachs, all roads lead to J.D. Vance.
Keith Bones sent $100. You have to overthrow the GOP. I bought me and my fiancée a house in a top 3 area to raise a family, just to be surrounded by 9 deep Indian households with multiple Chrysler town and countries in the damn street. Please save us from the Judeo-Indian values.
Thank you for the big super chats. Dude, it's so bad. It's so depressing. Like, we're gonna live in an... I'm gonna be... Should I be so honest right now? The biggest problem with diversity is like, dude, white people are beautiful. I want to be around beautiful white people. I do not want to be around a bunch of Edgars and Jeets, okay? It's literally, I know that sounds so horrible. Like, that's a big part of it. Like, let's just not even lie for a second. Let us tell no lies. Let us honor the people with the truth. If I wake up and we're in this, like, just negrified country where everybody's brown, it's like, that is so depressing. Everything is already so depressing, and then it's just going to get worse and worse. We're going to be a minority with all these people with their with the way they are and such, with the way they are and such and so forth. Yeah, it's not good. It's not a very bright future. It's not a very colorful future. The people of light! Remember when they used to say that, people of color? And the white nationalists used to say we're people of light because we have all the colors on the light spectrum. Blue eyes, green eyes, red hair, white skin. Like, we are true people.
Come on.
What do you think about it?
Fuck out of here, man.
Look at me, I have a red beard,
Fucking
I have light brown
boogeyman shit,
hair,
man.
I have green eyes. These are aesthetic attributes. Let's just cut this shit. We need an aesthetic race. Let's just cut all the garbage about jobs and crime and citizenship. We need an aesthetic golden race. Can we just go off for 5 seconds and say, the golden race, Atlantis, if you can hear us, please save us. Please save us from our descent. So, yeah.
George Droid sent $50. I want to like Crowder, but holy shit, his audience is all retarded boomers in the live chat. But the Democrats are bad. These people are not real.
I know, man. It's really grating. It's very grating.
Failed out at Del Cake sent $25. Hi, Nick, less than 3. You looked handsome as always on Stephen Crowder. We will all vote Democrat 2026.
Like shit. I looked like complete shit. I had just woken up. I slept for like a couple hours, woke up, ate, splashed water on my face, got into the studio. I looked like a bum. I looked like a...
Ernest Revolution sent $20. They hate us cause they hate us.
They hate us because they hate
Uncle
us.
Brooker sent $100. First time, long time. True story. Years ago when I lived in Innocence, I hooked up with Jake Shields' girlfriend, and Marie Gann.
What a shithole ass game. What a fucking shithole ass game, dude.
But absolutely true. Jake was a cuck then and still is now.
Thank you for the big super chat. Sounds kind of like you were the cuck. Like, you got a sloppy seconds and then you watched him fight on, like, that's kind of like an L on you. Who really wins? I sometimes think about that. Are you cucking the exes? Because it's like if you sleep with a girl, it's like their exes are thinking about who she's sleeping with now. Like, oh my gosh, she's sleeping with this new guy. He must be so much better. Or are you cucked by her exes? Because it's like they already hit. All right, pal, you're in. You know, like, I already took it for a ride. You know what I'm saying? So it's like... So I sometimes think, who's really the bigger cock? The pal?
Hey, niggers!
Interesting question, right? I think about this sometimes. Sort of an interesting... But then, you remember the White Rabbit shows up. White Rabbit knocks on the door. Says, guess what? It's time. All roads lead to Rome. Your girl is going. So then you just gotta remember it. None of it actually matters.
Red Revolution sent $50. Got my hair dyed. Changed my gender and started watching this stuff. 2026 is the only time I get to be a Democrat. Gotta fully embrace the experience. Screw the haters. Vote blue when they slash them niggas.
That's great. Love it. Amazing.
Osama08 sent $20. Amy acting if you can hear us anything but the Bee Gees.
I don't get it. What's the like the face swap thing? Yeah.
Jared Sims sent $20. Guys, Nick's not gay, he's deeply closeted. Norm McDonald probably.
Very good.
Charlie Sobro sent $25. Crazy we're relying on surveys for self-deport numbers. Wouldn't we have accounting records of what we paid them to leave?
We do. That's just it. And that's what I told Steven is all these numbers we have. Do you know that? DHS keeps track of everybody that self-deports. They report on the, and Crowder even brought it up, the CBP One app, they report when they voluntarily leave. We have those numbers. We have the number of removals. We have the number of interior removals. ICE could tell you exactly how many people they've removed from the country to a one. They won't. Why? Because the numbers are low. And that's why all these copers, that's why all the coping, seething Republicans have to say. So we looked at the community survey from the census, and they survey 65,000 households, and this percentage were non-residents or foreign nationals. We extrapolate that out and say 1.6 million people, 1.6 million fewer foreign nationals were counted, and blah blah blah. And it isn't even true. I mean, that number in particular, which was the basis of everything, Google it. They revised that number down, I think, to like 900,000, and I'm sure it's even lower than that because there's a response bias. There's a non-response bias, meaning the census surveys these people, and if fewer illegal aliens respond to the survey, is that because there are fewer illegals, or is it because illegals are not responding to surveys because they fear being deported? It's a non-negligible confounding factor, and not only that, but they already revised the numbers down by about 30%. When the new numbers came out, because they weight the numbers every year, I believe they make these adjustments, they weighted it lower. This was in Center for Immigration Studies, because I remember when CIS looked at the original number and they said, oh, this is amazing and it's totally real and it's legit, and then they had to come back and basically admit they were wrong and say, oh yeah, so I guess the number got revised down. That's bullshit. We all know. Do you notice fewer illegals? I don't. I still see Venezuelans selling their box of chocolate in the Mag Mile. And I still see illegals all the time. What are you talking about? It's just not happening.
Toby sent $50. Israel has allocated $730 million to Hezbollah. Ronald Lauder from the WJC admitted that Israel is at war for our minds. Please squash the beef and call for unity.
No.
OG5.
That's hilarious. Why is that on me? No, the guy clearly... That's overrated. That's overrated. He clearly cannot be trusted. He's either too stupid or he's in on it. Either way, I want nothing to do with that person.
OG59 Air Sniffer sent $100. Your Iran coverage is so far superior to everyone else. We just need one update a week, please. Watching all these idiots attack you knowing they've never even given you the time of day is infuriating.
I know.
Who is coordinating all this shit? People coming out of the woodwork to smear you is not organic.
Dude, this is like a white pill and a black pill. I wish I had... The blue hat is all the way over there. Where's my red hat?
8 fucking black niggers go die in a fucking creek, bitch.
Red and blue. We gotta complete the set. I was just thinking of that this whole time. Anyway, thank you for the big super chat. Yeah, it's true. Nobody gives me enough credit. I am good at what I do. Oh, there's the red one. But the blue one's out of reach. It's all the way over there. Yeah, no, it's true. My Iran coverage is number one.
Muchstream sent $100. Last night's show was fire.
Thanks. Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah, it's pretty good. I had a lot to say. Lately, I just don't have anything to say. I just feel I got nothing to say. There's nothing happening, nothing in the news, content drought. So I'm not even active on Twitter. I just,
Don't tread on me sent $20.
I feel
Nick,
blah.
seen a clip today of when your mom called into the show. Such a wholesome moment. W mom.
You like that? Thanks. Yeah, she got a big kick out of that as well. I got to do a show with her one day. I don't know if she'd be up for that. I don't want to subject her to a lot of attacks and things, because you know how that goes. The internet's vicious, but I think that might be fun if we did a show together.
Jenna Maroney sent $30. If I hugged you, I would angle it so that you got no hair smell.
See, you caught it. I love when somebody, because I'm always doing these little, I'm always doing these very subtle references. That's crazy that you caught that. you win the show for the night.
Black piece of shit, nigger.
We'll get there, he says.
Fucking nigger,
See,
bitch.
That was like a little reference to 30 Rock. And you caught it. The super chatter caught it. Good for you.
Naomi sent $20.
Nice.
Hi. Question.
Here's your
Do you
dopamine.
make baby tees for us petite girls? Your shirts is still too big for me. Please and thank you. Sent face emoji.
Baby tea? What is a baby tea?
Sandwich Owens sent $25. Bro Ibers will rat fuck for a dark horse until January 1st, 2029. Also, W Hoplite and 100 emojis. Dominic Chelton.
Yes. Yes, the dark horse.
Big Bro iPay sent $20. Yay, button activated. Yay, /out 2028 99% of vote landslide. First data port change VP8 brings in young Adolf at cinema.
I just can't even decipher
Base
that.
Chuck sent $20. What do you have to say to the people who say this is not a new war, and that this has been an ongoing conflict for many years?
It's totally true. I mean, I've said that. But the question is, what's driving that? I have said that for many years. I've said, no, it doesn't begin and end with Midnight Hammer. It doesn't begin and end with Epic Fury. It's been going on. I've laid out the entire timeline. I mean, realistically, you can go back to 2020. Let's call that the modern stage of hostilities. You could go back further than that, but 2020, there's a huge flare-up. We kill Soleimani. There's this attack on a chemical tanker in the Strait, and nobody knows who's responsible. Was it a torpedo? Was it a mine? Was it a limpet mine? Then people are shooting drones out of the sky. There were some serious hostilities in the summer of 2020, and then you get all these big Israeli cyber attacks, industrial sabotage in Iran, assassination of nuclear scientists. Then you get October 7th and all the ensuing conflict that leads you right up until now. So I would call that...
Vote me out, nigger. Vote me out, you fucking nigger.
Situation with
You black fucking nigger.
long time. So there's some truth.
Ray Crowder.
You black fucking nigger.
I don't think Crowder understood 26 is really
Black fucking nigger.
bring more immigrants. Now,
Yeah, well, he kept saying, he said, it's going to be over for America.
I'm a white nigger. You're a black nigger.
It's going to control the house. It's not a big deal.
Obama phone Pro Max 5G sent $20. Stu Peters is a retarded alcoholic who makes the worst slug imaginable. Failed rapper and a fake bodyguard too.
Yeah, he's just a nothing.
Roy Brashidi sent $50.
All these people are a joke.
Roy Brashidi sent $50. It's funny how the pretext support for Iraq was because two 747s flew into the Twin Towers. Now it's because Trump can rape a man in the middle of Fifth Avenue. Hashtag most loyal people.
Okay.
Voyage slave electrician sent $100. Started watching you after Asno Gold covered your crash out on Tucker and Candace last year. I cannot emphasize how important your message telling young men to go to college and get involved in politics is. Traits can be learned as a hobby. Political power cannot.
True. Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is. It's the most
Young
important
Polo
thing.
978 sent $25. Grab Crowder by the neck and squeeze.
No, come on. We like
Crowder
Crowder.
Prince 22 sent $50. The most disheartening part about Crowder in his comments section was the lack of imagination or even the will to become the card holders in an election. Slavery really was a choice.
Dude, so much in life is a choice. People choose it every day. Every day we wake up and we make a decision. Are we going to take matters into our own hands, or are we going to submit? It is. Slavery is a choice. So, yeah, these people, they will be accepting less and less every day.
Dylan's mind sent $20. And how many were built under Democrats? Sonia, we have to do
Yeah.
better than this.
How much border wall did the Democrats build? At least we built some border wall. It's like, how much credit do you get for building half of a border wall? Building 1/10 of a border wall. Do you get credit for building 1/10 of a house? Like, you have to build the whole
Get a haircut
wall.
set.
It's kind of all or nothing.
Get a haircut set $25. Clint Russell is trying to rewrite reality. He lied and said you were the first to attack Tucker after the interview. Shame.
Yeah, they all lie.
Cal said $20. Never forget Jack. 7.
Yeah, do you see that?
1% $20. See Leonardo made a hit piece about you being an agent. 100% just a slander video. It actually sounds scripted. Women.
Honestly, who cares?
Siago Iver 1999 said $20. Bro, Iver's United right now. Talking to Crowder today felt like how you say don't bother red pilling your boomer dad. Nobody older than us gets us, but the movement is inevitable. Kill and die for NJF.
Well, you know, maybe we don't want to talk like that these days. They're just begging them to arrest me. No. Let's pray, love, and heal for NJF. Let's eat, pray, and love for NJF. That's what we're going to do. We're going to eat, pray, and love. No more kill, rape, and die. No more killing, raping, or dying. There will be no more killing, raping, or dying. It will only be eating, praying, and loving. Loving fully, praying for our enemies, eating this good. Let's rewrite the script. Let's rewrite the narrative.
Trash Cat Randy said $35. The Jews are pushing anti-Semitism on social. They will use this as grounds to get what they want. A big destabilization plan.
Yeah.
Saint Saxon sent $20. The X faces today have been hilarious. Only schizoid brown people like Dan Bilzerian.
Who is on the space? Dude, if you're on these spaces, like, I honestly feel sorry for you. Who among us is sitting on X spaces all day arguing with these nitwits? Like, I couldn't do much more of that. I mean, I used to jump on the spaces, and it always turned into, like, so what are we going to do about it, guys? Like, I don't know. Let's make the game plan right here on Twitter Spaces. Like,
Emerald sent $50. I'm genuinely baffled. Do these losers really believe there's somebody? Or Tucker/Teal/Vance Matrix think this would actually work? Well, you have the country behind you. It just makes us turn on JD more.
True, I know. Yeah.
Swamp Grower sent $20. The founder of a ZPAC who funded OFU has ties to Robert Willis that founded Debateless that hosts White Rapids show who spoke at OFU. Robert Willis was a hacker who ran psyops for Trump in 2016.
That's going in the Obsidian file. I have been following all that very closely, but I will look into that. I heard about the Debateless thing from Basil. Basil pointed that out. I didn't know that, so that's going in the file.
Swamp Grower sent $20. There's also a Tucker connection to a ZPAC that I need to dig more on, but the Joan Blazing Palantir makes me more confident in that link. Especially with Tucker and OFU pushing to replace you.
I hear Joan is bad news that I was told this. And now he's boosting Alex Karp. Very strange. Something very strange is going on.
Topshire Scrub sent $25. You've alluded to making moves in Nevada. What can we do to help the movement here?
Okay, you didn't hear me.
Suicide Bee Immigration sent $20. 12% is like just the tip. It still counts. Sidewine sent $25. Love what you've done for our generation. Also, what do you think about upstate New York?
I've never been. So I don't really have any feelings about it. I'm sure it's nice.
If he sent $50, Sebastian Gorka named you and Tucker as possible domestic terrorists. WTF? Crying face emoji.
Well, it's not really true. I read the article, and it seems like they kind of took that out of context, but it's whatever. I mean, does that surprise anybody?
Luke Roy sent $30. If you haven't already seen Clips Piers Morgan show today was a disaster. He still doesn't know per capita. W got an off-weight.
No, I didn't see
Yale Groy sent $50. I'll be going to an elite Ivy League in the fall. Hiding my power level. Amassing capital and connections. Any particular advice I could get from the go? Hashtag act in 2026, hashtag hit or 2028, hashtag Fuentes 20.
Yeah, just focus, man. Just focus up. Don't keep hiding your power level, and just focus up. School is hard. Focus on school. Build your network as much as you can. Meet as many people as you can. Get their phone numbers. Be a dark triad.
Rage Bait sent $20. Any update? Green Jelly sent $100. Without you, there'd be no winning option for red pilling America. Democrats must dominate the midterms to open the way for a dark triad Republican candidate in 2028.
I like your using dark triad. Thank you for the big super chat.
Sent $35. Rape, kill, and destroy Amy Dangerfield and Tartar with Crowder. Here's my shekels for the army.
No, don't. No, don't do that. Like, no more. We can't say that anymore.
That's forever sent $100.
So good.
Great debate today. I've lived Crowder's theory the GOP will be better. It has failed ever since I have been running. You are the only one to call it out and say make them pay in the midterm. Infiltration and internal takeover is the only way. Jesus will save your soul. Nick Fuentes will save America.
Love that. Thank you for the big super chat. It's in God's hands. God runs the world. So, no. I mean, we could just do whatever we can.
Hours 54 sent $50. Bring it forth.
Indeed.
Neckerwells 888 sent $20. Nick Fuentes impartial to the name Lamau. Yo, brother. There's solid men around you always. If you don't know Katie, you literally just got red-pilled young Padawan. 4-leaf clover emoji. Chill a bit. Fuckers are asking.
Okay, I don't
Dixie Clark sent $20. How did you not lose it when Crowder tried saying the current housing market in rent is the best it's been in a while?
I don't know if you saw it was like spurting a little bit. That was crazy. It's like, dude, what are you even talking about? What are you talking about? I think housing has never been more expensive, and we're in this bubble that's about to burst. There's 650,000 more sellers than buyers now. I saw that today, so it's like, oh, what are you talking about? Everything is worse. Like,
SF sent $20. Your loyalists don't give AFAB teenage/WAPO op-eds or tweets from losers incorporated. The show feels reinvigorated since Italy. The Euro trip plus Red
so?
Kiev clearly worked wonders. Voting down 2024, God bless.
I'm trying. You think I'm reinvigorated since Italy, since the Europe trip and Rabbi Keith performing his, doing his spell casting? I don't know. I don't feel much better, but maybe I'm more inspired.
$22, Taylor Marshall 2028.
Taylor Marshall 28. Would he run for office? I like him a lot. I really do. I don't know what his feelings are towards me. But I think he's pretty solid.
Ed sent $23. Funny that Six Flags traumatized you. I bet you were in the wave pool. Shirt on, of course, and some fat guy had a heart attack.
No, it was a long story. Yeah, the 8th grade Six Flags trip. Yeah, let's just not even go there. Let's just not even talk about the traumatic memories.
$35. Killed him on Crowder today. Such a smart boy.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
88 sent $20. Also, stop slamming your viewers. You have great responsibility. The White Reed sent $20. Puerto Rico should never be a state. Zoomer 1998 sent $20. You tried to kiss me during Spider-Man. Bob Callum sent $20. Aaron Baker had a pretty decent chance of beating Randy Fine before Bilzerian joined the race. He really needs to drop out.
I don't know if anyone really had a chance, but splitting the votes really isn't a good idea.
Mr. Seth sent $20. Pierce dropped another episode of him not understanding what per capita means today.
Oh my gosh.
Boschiat 89 sent $20. Sebastian Moreno said today you and Tucker could be labeled as extremist. Hebs sent $20. The Crowder Cope was hard to watch, especially because I really do like him.
I like him too.
Nick, hand with index finger and thumb crossed emoji, sent $50. Stephen Crowder saying fighting a war against Iran because of Islam was such cope and typical Islam fear-mongering. Why can't we at least get a new playbook? Hold. The refusal is nuts. Hand with index finger and thumb crossed emoji.
I'm like, what are we even talking about? He's like, I'm okay with us, weakening Iran. I'm like, so how are we going to do that exactly? He's like, it's the 7th century. They're doing what Muhammad would have done. It's the worst thing. I'm like, so are we talking about Islam now? Like, what? Like, what does it have to do with the Strait of Hormuz, actually? If Israel didn't exist, they would, be at war with us. I'm like, okay, I guess, bro. Like, none of that actually is relevant to the conversation. The anti-Islam thing is, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm not pro-Islam, but it's one of those things. They're always using that dialectic to control us. It's always the Muslims, the Democrats, the left, and that's why we never fight for our own side. Like, we can never criticize Jews because it's Muslims. We can never infiltrate Republicans because it's Democrats. So, it's always that.
Casbah sent $50. Random question on the Bible. Joel said he agrees with the incestuous interpretation of Ham seeing his father's, Noah's, nakedness. I'm curious if you agree with him.
I don't know anything about any of that.
Gogook Knight sent $20. Guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. George Washington.
That's really
Wyatt Liddy sent $20. Interesting
really
point about grifters in the America First movement. Even though I obviously disagree with Ben Shapiro, at least he has original opinions unlike people like Big Gal.
I don't know if we need to go that far. Okay,
Triple D sent $30. Where's this one's honorary wage?
certainly
Jamaica
is.
sent $20. The alien disclosure from last week is all I see on Twitter now. That platform is complete slop.
Yeah, it's all garbage.
Vigilated Jester sent $20. The NDA. Bug Funhouse. Weird gambling mystery. I should have seen this coming. My perspicacity is going.
Yeah, in retrospect,
Mr. Detail
there were
sent
signs.
$20. What is the point of tearing down Dan Bilzerian when beating Randy Fine is a win for him?
Dude, he attacked. That's crazy. Dude, he launched an all-out attack, literally a coordinated attack on me, lying about me. I respond, why are you tearing this guy down? It's like, dude. Okay.
Spartan Roy.
That's crazy.
$50. Never forget Dan Bilzerian and his people are the reason Islam was created as a weapon against Christianity, the Church of Europe.
What, Jews?
Tony Sierra sent $20. Amy is an undercover Roy. Face with back sunrise emoji. We love her.
Yeah, maybe.
This guy IE99 sent $20. Hey, your politics and war analysis is great, but what validates it all is when you talk about Christ. It validates you and the movement. You haven't mentioned Christ much lately. Please do.
Okay.
White/red pilled by Nick sent $20. W Nick for never being a pushover. The one true way. You will destroy Tucker and his bitch Nick. I could be your grandma sent $20. I read the Crowder comments, smacked my head, realized the crowd will never get it. I hope young people show up to vote.
It's young people. I only trust people that are younger than me.
All-star Roy Baxter.
I don't take any advice. You ever see that clip? That's so mean. That's so true.
Zinguy1775 sent $20. Dan and Jake are prime examples why you don't wake up your low IQ friends. Also classic how they're older dudes who are stable so they're not sacrificing anything. When Dan fails, he can hit you trust fund.
Yeah, he's gonna move to Thailand, he says.
Alphonse sent $50. How do we cope? Revelation 16:13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Love you.
Interesting.
Hydrogen Bomb Roy % $20. Dan called us an online terrorist incel army, then says we had too much power. Thanks for your blood revenge of the Chuds.
Yeah, total
Food
W.
Wagon Pen sent $20. Yaya Roy for war, Iran. But why did you give Gio Scotty all the food you hated and eat? Naked Wells 88 sent $20. You gonna read the chat's pussy? Foamster sent $50. People seriously thought numbnuts, meathead, and a foreign thought would take over the movement. Who would follow people that would get put in a mental hospital if they had to solve a Rubik's Cube? Luis Jimenez 999 sent $20. Fuck
No.
Meeple Moore sent $20. How about Tyler Oliveira getting turned away by Israel? P.S. Stan hit your computer with a goy beam.
Is anybody surprised that happened? I mean,
Concede209 sent $20. How many people did you piss off? Articles about you. Coordinated attacks on X. Super chats closed. PC crashing. YouTubers are using your pic to get views. Jake's up. I mean, Laura Loomer must be happy now.
true. I'm like Job. I'm under this, like, spiritual karmic attack. It's a trial.
TGC sent $25. Saw multiple people in Crowder's live chat say I think this guy is Antifa. Hell.
Boy of hell.
Ag Groiper sent $20. Amy Dangerfield is one Groiper got away from returning to Groiperism.
Okay.
I will take one for the team.
Okay, come on.
Groiper sent $20. My dear leader, my liege.
Hey, what up?
The average AF super chatter sent $20. Hey Bubba, miss me after seeing among club super chatters. Dark Ice Wolf 17 sent $50. Letting off some steam and watching Ray Cooper hook up Jake in the octagon.
Don't look, but the entire live chat says fuck Sneeko. Stop, dude, he's my friend. Stop. Love Sneeko. Pray for Sneeko. Support Sneeko. Hug Sneeko. If you see Sneeko, give him a hug. If you see Sneeko, say hi. No, come on, it's some speech.
Crazy how Brittany the Jew has consistently been one of your most loyal player dies while these Lord keep crashing out on you all the time.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that, isn't there? Anyway, thank you for the big super chat. Brittany's the good
Sherelle White Sierra thanks 5 cent $50. Crowder audiences like watching someone justify a broken relationship. How many broken promises and boundaries crossed will they justify? You're trying to help these people stand up for themselves. I've sent $20. Speaking of people who play both sides, Myron, I think it's strategic. Sneeko is just a dumb coal miner low. Great show. Luma sent $20. Tons of accounts attacking you over the weekend were brand new and posting AI slop. Hundreds of them.
I saw that. Yeah. One of them was made like the day before I pointed it out.
Billy still sent $100 today. When you play the Game of Thrones, you live or you die. There is no middle ground. The Groiper sent their
Okay,
rewards.
chill. No one's dying, okay? No one's dying anytime soon, right? Thank you for the big super chat, though. I appreciate it. I know what you mean, though, metaphorically.
Finwar sent
That's how it
$20.
goes.
Why do you never talk about the white Protestant group known as the Quakers who ended world slavery?
Why would I?
Dope Boy Magic sent $20. Roughly how many of our friends, family, and would-be Groivers do you think Purdue Pharma killed off? The settlers are Roman Catholic, right?
I don't know. Okay, that's our last super chat. Oh, it's a hot take. Oh, scorching. Ouch. That's our last super chat. That's going to do it for me. Yeah, wow. Amazing stuff, guys. Really amazing stuff tonight.
I'm on the clock. What you want? Some
That's
wheels?
all we got, though. Remember to smash the follow button, smash the like button, leave a comment. I'm on the air Monday through Friday. As always, thank you to our top super chatters. Big special thank you to Mark, Lion Township alumni, T-Bone, Uncle Groiper, OG Hair Sniffer, T Mux, Wage Slave Electrician, Green Jelly, Groiper Forever, Chicken Waffin, and Willie Nail. Thanks to them. Thanks to all our super chatters, everybody that watches. We love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your evening.
It's going to be ugly.
These black fucking niggers, dude. Shit.
Hello, this is more. I can do that.
Got him. God. Oh God, fuck off. Nigga, fuck off. I hate this fucking.
Morse Mutual. Sure.
Hi. What? Okay, but only for a minute.
Hey, that sucked. What does this mean? What the fuck does this mean? Fuck! Fuck, man. Fucking hate it. Whatever.
MMI. I can do that.
Damn.
Norse Mutual. I'll look into it.
Fuck.
Hello? Okay.
I haven't seen him die one time. The fucking monitor, dude. Shit. Monitor has fuck.
Horse Mutual Insurance. How can we help you? I'll do my best.
See a ball. Not fucking dog.